Hey, so do you want to grow your income without actually piling on more client work? I added 30K a month just doing the same thing. So in this video, what I'm going to do is show you the 9 steps I took so you can copy the exact blueprint and skip all of the guesswork. And if you want to go deeper into this sort of thing together and build it out in your business, there's a link down below with more info on how we can do just that. So first, what I want to show you is like a really important step that people skip, but it is the foundation that makes productization possible in the first place, right? Because when I started this and I had an agency and so on and so forth, before coaching, before consulting, I did a lot of done for you services. And then I priced those, at 1K, at 2K, all the way up to 10, 25K, etc. And the secret is sort of taking a service and turning that into a product, right? And that helped me generate over 1.19 million in sales without any client work. And I got to serve upwards of 300 clients and so on and so forth. So I've never really revealed this sort of stuff in the past, but it is the ins and outs of how I serve my clients at the highest tier. And then I take that sort of stuff and then integrate a hybrid model where I have a proximity offer. Basically, I have coaching, I've got consulting, I've got a DIY. So there's DIY done with you and done for you. Today, I'm going to run you through exactly what I do with my clients over here. So see the watermelon in the middle? This is the journey of how I basically install the modern maker model in their business. So this is usually like somewhat of a 12-week thing if I'm involved hands-on, and it could be up to a year thing depending on the tiers of access. So we first start off with a kickoff. We understand the student and business overview. I want to know where they're at, what they've tried, what their product is, their service, their pricing, and all sorts of, pricing for me sort of helps me understand where they're at. I want to know what audience numbers they have, any pain points, the current situation. Usually people who come to me want more sales, want more money, and want to buy back more time, i.e. work less. So I then grab all of that and I introduce them to the offer maker GPT, which is called Iggy. And their task is to create an offer doc with Iggy, including the 3 Ps, right? Which I'll talk about in a second. But that way, what used to take me almost a week before, understanding this chapter, then helping them actually write their doc offer, right? Because before, usually people do sales calls, would have many iterations and back and forth. Now clients have said, we've done this in like 4 or 5 minutes. So once they've done that, then we do an offer review. This is step number 2 out of 9. We review the offer doc. We add our own sort of spice to it. We iterate and we finalize that offer. Usually at this point, I introduce them to weekly pricing strategies and proximity tiers. For example, in Modern Maker, I've got a group that I lead with, and then I've got one-on-one access. So that proximity tier gives you leverage. I also give them plug and play DM scripts to validate that offer. So it's actually going up to someone on LinkedIn or whatever their primary platform is and asking them something along the lines of like, hey, I've got a new offer. It's for avatar or niche, just like you. It's X amount to get started. Would you like the details? Or we create sort of posts that get people to raise their hands. And I give them all of those scripts. I also give them a 9-day email cash campaign because people who come to me usually have an email list. And we throw that in there so they can validate the offer by getting yeses quicker. Now, the next step after you've validated and you've made some money, ideally with the cash campaign, they've made their money back or whatever it is, we build the pre-sell funnel assets. So in my world, it is a mini VSL. You've probably seen it. I'll drop it down below in the description, which basically, it's not a VSL in conventional terms. I see it more of like an indoctrination funnel where we talk about your story, who you are, the model, which is what you do, and then we give them a call to action about where to go. That's why three W's, right? Who you are, what you do, where to go. And we create a simple opt-in page on like Kit or whatever email service provider, which redirects to a landing page or a Notion doc. And that is pretty much it, right? So that mini VSL is there to build resonance with your story and relevance with your model. Now what we do, like a lot of my clients use LinkedIn or Instagram. If they're on Instagram, we create a little video flow in the pinned social media posts where we have one carousel that again tells the story, a model with a CTA to get them to the mini VSL, and another carousel with results with a CTA to a product. Now, the beauty of this is we've got like an AI prompt that basically takes the transcript of the mini VSL and creates a playbook, which I will also drop in the description below. You turn that into a 30-page playbook for people who prefer to basically read, right? So that is pretty awesome and really helpful. So now you're taking leads and you're turning them into clients that way. Oh, before I do that, this pre-sale funnel, so my mini VSL, which I've done another video on in the past, is the sole purpose why I signed 53 clients in the last month and a half with 0 sales calls, fully automated, right? Because it's like preheating the oven and microwaving your prospects, right? You put them through here, they feel the resonance and the relevance, and then they're more likely to say yes, rather than you slamming a Google Doc in front of them without them knowing who you are or when they're colder. The next step is talking about products, checkout, funnels, and sequences. So what I do here, think of this like a little engine, right? We identify a front-end low-ticket product and we draft the funnel, the whole plan. So usually it goes something like you've got a front-end offer with a little video that can have an order bump, so something that supplements it. And as soon as you flip the page, it goes into like an upsell or a downsell with a video. Think of them as checkout pages, right? And I give them the templates, the design layout, the checkout page flow, and we attach a master email sequence. So I always think of it as having multiple doors that have one living room. So when somebody opts in with your mini VSL or your playbook, you send them the same master sequence, which again shares a welcome, your story, your model, and some results. So people learn differently, right? We've got visual learners, audio-visual learners, kinesthetic learners. So different ways of hitting them with the same thing. If they purchase a front-end offer, we send a post-purchase sequence, right? Most people just send you an invoice and say, thank you very much. We pocket coach them, right? Hold them accountable, make them feel good, and then we can ascend them into higher ticket territory. And that is the reason why most of my customers ascend into clients with these sequences. And also we have an abandoned cart. So if somebody doesn't buy the product, we might knock on their door and ask them, are they in the loo? Did a seagull steal their phone? Did they get attacked by a bear? Whatever the reason is that got them to not buy. So this is I call it the micro snack cartel, or the funnel from Pablo Escobar's, the Netflix series. You give them small snacks, micro snacks, before offering the big snacks. And my tip here is your front-end offer should directly relate to your core service. So in my world, I give a Google Doc offer on the front end as a product when somebody joins my email list, which is pretty much the first thing we do inside Modern Maker. Then once we've set up the funnel, we basically want to get organic traffic. So I use 2 types of posts that dog whistle, right? We only want doggies to hear us, no other species. Otherwise it's too broad and it won't convert. So I do share content as number 1. That's lifestyle, hobbies, values, philosophies, opinions. That's sort of showing who you are, right? Nobody can be as cool as you. And that's how you build your universe. People in my world know I love watermelon. I've got 6 pets and I love running and music, right? And then on the other side, we've got show content. That is what you do, right? So that's processes, your lived experiences, your lessons, your realizations. So on my LinkedIn, I always talk about the funnels that I make, the offers that I write for people, the problems that my students face. So at that intersection, we almost designed the moment between sharing and showing that people fetch their wallet. And the CTAs, when I do show posts, are usually to like lead magnets or offers and stuff like that, because we want people coming into that engine that we just built. So that brings us to a little watermelon. Now, usually once you've got your Google Doc offer, your engine, and your traffic, so the little get model, I think I have, let me see if I've got it here. So yeah, there you go. Got a little triangle over here, if you can see it. There you go. GDoc, engine, and traffic. That's the model. We want to bundle and unbundle assets, right? We find which assets sell well. We find which assets don't sell well. And we can create, for example, 10 times more expensive offers. We can create bundles of offers. We can create more offers by changing variables. And we can run campaigns again to increase the lifetime value. So one of the biggest lessons that I learned on Black Friday, for example, is I would just sell one thing, write more emails, and that was it. But when I created a 10 times more expensive offer, so for example, buy this workshop for $50, and then on the checkout, you can buy all my workshops for $500, right? Or $1,000. That is a 10 times more expensive offer. So now increase the lifetime value. Or I used to sell Modern Maker, my program, for 12 months. By changing the variable and making it 12 weeks, it's still the same offer, but the variable changed. So therefore, it's a different offer. It's a different packaging, right? But the product remains the same. So you're bundling and unbundling different assets to create more offers. Then we've got ads. So I'm not your typical ads guy. I find winning organic content, right? I've got 50,000 followers on LinkedIn. So I learned a thing or two in that process about organic content. And I just take that. I use the same principles on Instagram simply because I prefer meta ads. And I click boost. And I have ManyChat, a little tool that handles automated keywords for me. So if you comment the word roadmap on my Instagram at most_mojo, you're going to get my mini VSL, right? I also set up, Meta and Facebook Pixel on Thrivecart. Thrivecart is the checkout page company that I use. There's plenty of them out there, but this has been by far the best in my world and the most cost effective. And then we allocate ad spend. So it could be $5 a day, $10 a day, depending on who it is. But based on the funnel that we built, if you remember all of those, the front end assets, the order bumps and the downsells and all of that, basically creates a self-liquidating funnel. So for me, instead of saying, I'm going to help you spend less money on ads, my goal is to abide by ad economics. I want you to spend more so you can compete with the big dogs, right? So by scaling your ads slowly, the more you spend, because it's self-liquidating, people just keep coming, keep buying. We use that and reinvest it, and we make the money on the back end. It's a really fantastic model, which basically gets you off the organic hamster wheel. Like, since I've had my daughter and I'm running low-cost ads, I'm nowhere near as many hours as I used to be on LinkedIn anymore, right? And then we have remarketing ads. So similar to content when you show up and you have a different post the next day, you just have remarketing ads to hit people who've already seen the first ad with another one. So those are the ads. And then I'm very big on iterations. So we always look back at what we've built and what we've produced And I always say there's a series of easy yeses. So we want to figure out how many views, how many followers, how many impressions are we getting with our content? And then in turn, what types of conversion events do we have? How many leads, how many customers, how many clients? And which posts or emails specifically in this funnel created that, right? So can we create variations of the successful posts? Can we tweak unsuccessful posts or email insights? I want to know which emails converted leads to customers. Can I create seasonal sequences so I don't have to keep writing? Can I repurpose posts and emails? And then the same is true for products. I'll never forget, I had a product called the 1 Hour Power Writer, which at the time got like 36 sales. And then I was like, wow, this is an outlier. Can I change the name to Power Write Like a Mother Flower? And then it got like 52 more sales the second time. I was like, this is mind-blowing to me. Versus me then bundling that with a product that didn't resonate with a client, and that bundle then sold as well. So this is what we learned by studying who's bought what and which posts performed. So we then do a funnel review and wrap up. So we walk through that entire funnel. We check the wins. We talk about the lessons learned. We find areas to improve in the welcome sequence, in the ads, in the posts. And we talk about what moving forward looks like. In general, it is, accountability, support, and sort of scaling at that point, this little machine that we've built. So that is the roadmap of what is inside Modern Maker. I hope you got ideas about like productizing your service by, making offers or weekly pricing, or where it is you are in this journey and what you can do. And it goes without saying, if you have any questions, you can hit subscribe. You can also comment down below. And I would be more than happy to run you through anything. And as always, sending you a ton of love, and I'll see you in the next video.